What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much just for opening this. I really appreciate it. I've been sending out the devotionals for a little while now. I want to add a different component because sometimes I think I'm better with just kind of expressing, communicating verbally than I am with my words. And I'm going to continue that, but I just wanted to add this component as well. Let me know what you think, your thoughts, and let's jump right into this. Right, this is an interesting week, a special week for Christians specifically. Why? Because this is the week that you and I designate. Those of you that are Christians designate as Holy Week. Holy Week is the week in anticipation of Easter resurrection Sunday morning, where Jesus has been crucified on Friday and gets up on Sunday morning with all power and authority in his hands. It's the event at which the Christian faith is rooted in, that it makes sense because of. And so this is the day, this is the week that we set aside to celebrate what Jesus did on the cross. And because of what Jesus did on the cross, you and I have access to eternal life. And so I want to, in light of that, I want to lift something because typically um, every year I try to read through these passion narratives, these narratives surrounding the suffering of Jesus Christ during this particular time. I find it very, very helpful. And I want to share something with you that I found helpful, that perhaps that you may be able to think and meditate on as well. So it comes from Mark chapter 11. Beginning at verse 1, when they approached Jerusalem at Bethphage and Bethany near the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples and told them, "Go into the village ahead of you. As soon as you enter it, you will find a coat tied there on which no one has ever sat. Untie it and bring it to me. If anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' say, 'The Lord needs it and will send it back here right away.'" So they went and found a coat outside in the street, tied by a door. They untied it, and some of those standing there said to him, "What are you doing, untying the coat?" They answered them just as Jesus had said, so they let them go. They brought the coat to Jesus and threw their clothes on it, and he sat on it. Many people spread their clothes on the road, and others spread leafy branches cut from the fields. Those who went ahead and those who followed shouted, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest heaven." He went into Jerusalem and into the temple. After looking around at everything, since it was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12. So Mark chapter 11, that was verses 1 through 11. And this is an account of what many times we celebrate the Sunday going into Holy Week, which is called Palm Sunday, which is why in many churches you'll see people waving palms because it's in celebration or in remembrance of what happens on this particular day. Jesus is going into Jerusalem. And notice what the people are shouting: "Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." What this word Hosanna, help, it's a plea, it's a victory shout that they're shouting because they believe that Jesus is going to overthrow Rome. Jesus is going to overthrow their oppressors. Notice what it says. It says, "Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David." It's because these people understand that God made a covenant with David, that the seed of David will always be on the throne. And so they know that Jesus comes from the right tribe. They know that Jesus is coming at the right time. And now is the time. Jesus is about to go into Jerusalem and overthrow everything. And they are happy and excited about it because they have been oppressed for so long. But that's not what happens. Sure, Jesus is coming to do all of what they expected, but just not in the manner that they expected. And so much so that that's Mark chapter 11. But when you and I go further into the gospel of Mark, and even all of the gospels, remember when we find Jesus before Pilate, Jesus, they get the same crowd gets a choice whether to choose Jesus or to choose Barabbas. And they choose the criminal, the known criminal Barabbas. What was it that changed for them from that first day to now on the Thursday trying to say, hey, we would rather have a criminal than Jesus? What was it that changed their mindset that stopped them from screaming shouts of victory to now being in a place where they're saying, we're so sick of this man, we want him killed? Isn't that interesting? Just the complete bipolar nature of the crowds. I could say a whole lot more about that. But my question that I want to raise today is simple. Why did the crowds change? Why did the crowd switch up? I thought about this for this particular year. And I think they potentially could have changed their cry. They could have changed their shout, their perspective for a number of different reasons. But one of the reasons I think that they changed was because Jesus disappointed them. They expected Jesus to do one thing and Jesus didn't do it. The expectation was for Jesus to overthrow and to come with a sword and to do all these amazing things, but Jesus did not do it. The triumphal entry lifts a question to each one of us. What do you do when Jesus disappoints you? Because you and I do not get to put Jesus into a box. You and I do not get to strap Jesus down to our concerns and to our and strap Jesus down into whatever we think Jesus ought to do. And so Jesus is saying, I'm going to do everything I'm going to do everything that I said I was going to do, just not in the manner that you think I should do it. And so that's the question I want to leave with you today. And notice, I'm not trying to suggest if Jesus disappoints you. I'm saying when Jesus disappoints you. When things don't go your way, what is your response? And that's the question that I wrestle with often. When things don't go my way, what's my response? Do I lean in more to God or do I draw further back? Do I lean into something that potentially may be harmful to me or do I have healthy coping mechanisms? Do I lean into a community that's helpful or do I go somewhere that I know that probably isn't best for me? What is your behavior when Jesus disappoints you? I'm not offering a resolution today. I think oftentimes some of these narratives are raising questions that we need to wrestle with, maybe not necessarily giving us an answer. So that's my question with you today. That's my question that I'm posing to you today. What is your behavior? What do you do when Jesus disappoints you? As I always close everything, live in purpose, on purpose. I love y'all, and I'll see you next time.